No, in class 2 we discussed about the packing fraction. So mass defect, we discussed mass defect and packing fraction. Mass defect is equals to mass defect delta m is equals to mass defect mass defect delta m is equals to zmp plus a minus z into mn minus m, mass defect, and packing fraction is equals to packing fraction is equals to mass defect per nucleon. Now what is binding energy? Now binding energy Be. So what is binding energy means? It is the energy required. Binding energy is the energy required to break the nucleus into its constituent nucleons. Energy required to break the nucleus into nucleons is called as binding energy, or we can also say it as the energy required to combine protons and neutrons to form a nucleus. So it is energy required to break the nucleus into nucleons, or it is energy required to combine the nucleons to form a nucleus is called as binding energy. So we have discussed that the masses of protons and neutrons is greater than the mass of the nucleus. The difference in energy is converted into its binding energy. That binding energy is nothing but it is the so binding energy is arising from mass defect. It is energy required to break the nucleus into nucleons or combine the nucleons to form a nucleus. Therefore, the difference of that energy between protons and neutrons and nucleus is converted into binding energy. That is delta m into c square. Binding energy is equals to mass defect delta m into c square. Delta m into c square, that is equals to delta m into c square means zmp plus a minus z into mn minus m into c square joules Now in atomic mass unit, it is in atomic mass units, binding energy Be is equals to delta m into c square, we have done this one, into 931.5. delta m, you need to write this square, that is equals to delta m into 931.5 million electron volts. Delta m into 931.5 million electron volts. This should be in atomic mass unit. Therefore, here binding energy is equals to, so mass defect multiplied by 931.5 gives binding energy in atomic mass units. I told you one AMU is equals to 1.66 in power minus 27 kg. That is 931.5 MeV. Therefore, if it is an atomic mass unit, then in AMU we got binding energy as 931.5 multiplied by mass defect. Now, what is binding energy curves? So, what is binding fraction and binding energy curves? So, what is binding fraction is binding energy per nucleon is called as binding fraction. This is very important one. Binding fraction. This is binding energy per nucleon. Binding energy per nucleon is called as binding fraction. Binding energy per nucleon is called as binding fraction. Therefore, if you plot a graph of binding, this is very important graph, binding energy per nucleon and binding fraction. This is mass number A. This is binding energy per nucleon in million electron volts. Then we get a plot of something like this. Get a plot something like this. Okay, so here it is. This is helium, this is lithium, this is carbon, this is nitrogen, this is oxygen, this is fluorine, and we can get also neon here. somewhere calcium here, and here this is iron, Fe56. Fe56, atomic number is 28, Fe56, and this value is 7.89 MeV. 7.89 MeV. This is deuteron H12 1.11 MeV. Okay. So this is the binding energy curves. This is the binding energy curve. Now mass number A versus binding energy. So what can we in from this curve is, for a light nuclei, for lighter nuclei, initially the binding energy per nucleon rises slowly and reaches a maximum value and then drops off very slowly. Initially it rises very slowly and drops off very slowly, means almost remains constant for majority of nuclei. The binding energy per nucleon almost remains constant for majority of this is more or 42, 170 or 180. 170 or 180, it almost remains constant. Therefore here it is maximum value for iron 8.79. It is 8.79. 8.79. So binding energy per nucleon is maximum for iron. This is very important. So Be per nucleon is maximum for iron. Therefore iron is more stable element. More stable. So higher the value of binding energy per nucleon, more stable is the element. Out of all the elements in the periodic table, the binding energy per nucleon is maximum for iron. That is, the value is 8.79 million electron volts. So if you are given which of the following is the highest binding energy per nucleon or highest stability, you are given iron, copper, neon, something like that, or uranium, something like that, then you can keep it bluntly, it is iron. Iron is having the highest binding energy per nucleon, and that is the most stable element. Which is having the highest binding energy per nucleon, that element is more stable, and the least is for deuteron, that is 1.11 million electron volts. Now for majority of nuclei, from 40 to 170 almost, for majority of nuclei, so binding energy per nucleon almost constant, almost remains, see, it's very slow fall, means almost a flat curve, almost constant. For majority of nuclei, binding energy per nucleon remains constant, and it is low for light elements and also heavy elements. So it is dropping when you go, atomic mass number increases or lower mass numbers, it is very low. It is low for lighter elements and also heavy elements. For majority it remains constant. For stable nucleus, binding energy per nucleon is more. For stable nucleus, binding energy per nucleon is very large, and these are the inferences from the binding energy curve. So therefore maximum occurs for iron and minimum occurs for deuteron. Iron is more stable. If it is having a higher binding energy per nucleon, that element is more stable, and for majority of nuclei, binding energy per nucleon remains constant, and for lighter elements it is very low, and also for higher elements also it is a very low value. For majority remains almost a flat curve, that is remains constant. Now therefore you can say these are more unstable. This is stable from 40 to 170. So mass number lying between 40 to 170 are more stable. More is unstable. This is also unstable elements. Okay. Now here there is a small confusion for the initial states, that is for odd mass numbers, lithium, nitrogen and fluorine, odd mass numbers, it is lower shaft is there, lower shoot is there, and for higher shoot for even mass number curves. Now let us see nuclear forces also. Now what are nuclear forces? This is also important one. Nuclear forces. Nuclear forces. So what are nuclear forces means? The forces between the nucleons are called as nuclear forces, or it is the forces of attraction which binds the nucleons inside the nucleus. It is the binding force that keeps the nucleus is as stable. It is also called as a nuclear force. So nuclear force exists in between the nucleons, neutrons, protons, protons. These are the forces between the nucleons, are called as nuclear forces, which binds the nucleus to form a stable atom. So this is nuclear forces. Now these are the strongest forces in nature. These are the forces, first point. These are the forces between neutron, proton, and proton. These are the nuclear forces. These are the strongest forces in nature. Strongest forces in nature. These are the strongest forces in nature. If you take the ratio of electrical forces, gravitational forces, and nuclear forces, Fg is to F electrical is to F nuclear, this becomes 1 is to 10.36 is to 10.38. 1 is to 10.36 is to 10 power 38. Therefore, nuclear forces are more stronger than the electrical forces. That's why, so if you apply Coulomb's law inside the nucleus, what happens? According to Coulomb's law, protons and protons should repel each other because they are both having the positive charge. But nucleus becoming stable. Here, the nuclear forces dominates the electrical forces because they are the strongest forces in nature when compared to the electrical forces. Nuclear forces are the strongest forces than the Coulombian repulsive force. Therefore, here these forces dominate the attractive force between the proton and proton, dominate the repulsion between the proton and proton, or simply we can say the limitation for electrical forces, Coulombian forces is 1 angstrom, 10 power minus 15 meters. But nuclear forces, it is 10 power minus 15 meters because nuclear size is 10 power minus 15, atom size 10 power minus 10. Therefore, this is limitation. Therefore, here when the distance between two particles exceeds 10 power minus 10, less than 10 power minus 10, then nuclear forces comes into play, and these are the strongest forces in nature. Third one is nuclear forces are charge independent, but spin dependent, spin dependent. We can call them as tensor forces. These are charge independent. They are charge independent but spin dependent. These are called as tensor forces. Okay, tensor forces. Therefore, force between neutron approximately equals to force between neutron proton approximately equals to force between proton and proton. These are almost equivalent forces, but in strictly we can write FPP is less than FN approximately equals to FNP. This is more strict, but it is commonly generally we use all the forces are equal. Fnn is equals to Fnp is equals to Fpp. But strictly speaking, we can take Fpp is less than Fnp less than is equals to Fnn. But most of the books it is giving like this only. We can go with that one only. Now here in this nuclear forces, there is a small particles called as pi mesons. Yukawa introduced particles called as pi meson. These are exchange forces. Fourth point is these are exchange forces. They exchange mesons. Meson introduced by Yukawa. Pi 0, pi plus, and pi minus are called as pi mesons. Proton gives rise to neutron plus pi plus. Charge should balance. Neutron is having no charge. Proton positive charge, positive. Similarly, neutron gives rise to proton plus pi minus, positive, negative gets cancelled. Neutron gives rise to proton plus pi meson. So this is they are exchanging pi. Okay, these are exchange forces. They exchange fundamental particles called nuclear particles, subatomic particles called as the mesons, introduced by Yukawa. These are three types: pi 0, pi plus, and pi minus. Proton gives rise to neutron plus pi plus, and neutron gives rise to p plus pi minus. Now in next class we discussed radioactivity.